Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Bald and Bearded channel. I'm your host, Sean. This is the game Home. It's made in 2012. It is a unique horror adventure, and yeah, it just kind of gets right into things. I was hoping to get to the settings, and it just jumps into this. So the first screen, it basically says like, hey, you want to wear headphones to play this, you want to play it in one sitting, and you want to turn the lights off. I'm going to see what it looks like if I turn my actual camera lights off. Ooh, it's good enough to see me, no problem. So let's look at the game like this. See, this is where I think it'll be a problem. I don't know. I don't think this is a game that I'm going to get scared because the lights are on or off. You know what I mean? But the sound will probably be one of those key factors, right? And having the in-ear monitors is absolutely perfect for creepy sound. Like if I was to play BioShock back in the old days when it was brand new and I didn't know what was around the corner or anything like that, these things would have been fucking nuts. But let's just play it like this. Let's keep the lights on so it's not confusing for people that might join in after this explanation. And we know we're not going to get scared. Let's be real. Okay, here we are. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet, a flashlight. So, I want to see. There's no settings. So this game is just a flat 30 FPS. So, I don't know. I'm streaming at 60 FPS. So, if it looks kind of weird at some points, sorry. It's a click. We don't move with the keyboard, so it's a point and click, it looks like. Okay. All right. I don't know if we can investigate. Holy crap, his shoes are loud. And so if anybody is actually playing this and they're not commentating like me, I bet it's even more like captivating because the sound is going to be key in this game. That house. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna keep the lights off. Let's do it as authentic as we can. That house. Where was I? Hello, governor. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? Does this guy have amnesia? Is he the dude from that movie that I talk about with Queso all the time, but I still haven't watched it? Is this a cat or a demon? Oh shit, that was so loud. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Is there a way to control the volume on this? My god. All right, I'm turning my own volume down. That cat was loud as fuck. Jeez. I knew the lightning was loud and I knew the footsteps were loud, but whew, that was tough. All right, hopefully it's a little bit better for me. That was a demon and a cat. I'm gonna try to go. Ooh, so if I put my mouse, if I click up, it holds the flashlight up. That's cool. It's a little. What if I click down? No, it's just as low as it goes. Where's the leak coming from? It's just coming from here. So I think my plan is to investigate the upper area, like the full area, before I try to go to another floor. Books. Ooh. A 486 DX2. Hewlett Packard. Double Deluxe. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but Did I open the drawer? I mean, we don't even know who the fuck we are, right? Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo. Looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? Now, I gotta be honest, I've played this back in the day, but I don't remember any of it. And I probably will remember it at the very end of some sort. But, like, I only have 2 achievements on this game, and it's from just dinking around on it from my Steam Deck. So whenever I played it, it was obviously on a drinking stream, and I think I might have played it on a different platform, like not Steam itself. What is this? Is this blood or mud or stank? It's got to be on the wall, right? Yeah, blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. Yeah, dude. I wouldn't. So he just noticed that he had blood on his shoes and pants? I don't know. I guess if you woke up in your clothes in a weird place and, you might, I don't know, you'd probably be looking at other shit and caring about other things than noticing what's on your shoes. I feel like I would notice that, though. Okay. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg? I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. Okay, so he maybe he does know who he is. I'm so confused. I already didn't pay attention to, like, the very first moments of the game. All right, so if he knows, he could recall things like coming home and seeing Rachel. So he probably knows who he is. But maybe that was like a different place. And he woke up here and he doesn't know how he got here. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. Let's go this way first. We can't interact with the clock. I wonder if the things that we can't interact with, if they're worth minding, like this clock here. And we can't tell if that's an hour or a minute because it's the same length. So I'm just going to say that it's probably not key, not meaningful. It's true though, dude. I like the very first moment the character started, it was because like it went from telling me to like turn off the lights and do all this shit, and I was trying to get to the option screen, and then it just started with info, and I didn't pay attention to that. It's so much harder for me to pay attention to it when I'm reading it out loud. Because if I'm reading something out loud, it's not, I don't know, it's just harder for me to take that information and do something with it. If I'm reading it internally, I'm way more effective with whatever that information may be. All right. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. I think it's because my brain is, you know, it requires spending more resources on auditory things. Like I'm saying something, I'm listening to something, but I'm focused on my voice instead of actually the words that I'm saying. It's like if you read out loud in school, you were just more concerned about how you sounded. Am I actually reading this like a normal person, or am I too slow, or are people thinking I'm an idiot? And you just don't retain whatever it is that you just read. It's really annoying. Like this part. I don't even know if I just read this. The shelf was full of books on local history and hunting. It seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. I think I did read that. I'm really good at this. This is why I don't play puzzle games on stream. That was some good sound. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. Old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. Dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. Okay. So that's a pretty decent amount of booze for 2 peeps. The smell was turning my stomach. Yeah. The smell was enticing Questo. What is this? A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife. I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? I mean... yeah, let's... why would we take it? Why wouldn't we take it? Let's think about this. We pillaged the drawers. Did we take something from the drawers? I think we just looked in them. I mean, what would we take the picture for? It seems like a weird thing. I figured this was no help to me, so I left it behind. I mean, I guess we could interact with it again, maybe? Yeah. So maybe if I doubt myself, I should take it. This is interesting. The question is, are we actually... I mean, we have blood on our pants and boots. Let's not forget about this. We woke up not knowing what the fuck was going on. We're in this house. Nobody else is here. We're probably the bad guy. So I feel like if we're taking things from the house, we're almost like adding evidence against us. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a picture. I mean, who knows? Yeah. I'm taking this picture in real life. You don't know nothing, Questo. What is that? Is that a squirrel? A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. Oh, it looked frantic, but exhausted. Did I forget? Yeah, that's sad as fuck. It's not my house. I don't give a shit if there's a rat. Go home. Go home free, little rat buddy. Ooh. What the fuck? Is this an actual shovel just inside a house? In a rake? Collection of rusty tools. These tools looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp-smelling dirt. Why weren't they in the shed? Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Who done it? I found a picture of a couple. It looked like it had been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I put... What? Nobody has those things in the actual homes. It depressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a faraway click somewhere. I mean... I guess, like, if someone actually has this kind of thing in their house, like, there's probably a reason you don't know about it. But I feel like nobody has this kind of shit. I don't know. Okay. What kind of fucking shoes is my guy wearing? Stomping around in some stilettos. Let's continue the trend of... Oh, shit! What the fuck? Yeah, it's not... I knew it. It's not the darkness that'll get you. It's the fucking sound. Okay, are those... These can't be boards, because, like... Well, I guess it could be multiple boards. Like, what is this? Like a half board and a half board? The door... Oh, it's tape. Okay, good. I thought they were... I mean, what would they tape the door for, though? That's what I'm like... At first, when I saw it, I was thinking, oh, that looks like tape. But then I'm like, what the hell is tape gonna do on a door? Like, it's not keeping anybody in or out. The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guessed it led to the kitchen. How the fuck? What the hell is tape gonna do? The funnier thing is, it looks like the door would open inward, which the tape would do even less. I'm confused. The switch in the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. How did we know that? We never tried to open this door because we just came down here. The fuck? Alright. Well, there's a box there. Okay, let's go... Before we go down the ladder, we need to go to the left. What? The tape is off. Okay. Ooh, a mirror. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. So I wonder if it's worth going back to areas we've previously been, because the tape has been altered, so... The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. The bathroom was incredibly clean. Every surface had been wiped, thoroughly wiped, and nothing seemed out of place. I'll be the one that makes that decision. I don't know. There's water. What is this? There was a photo development tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. Hello? Is there a rat behind there? There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. Looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Key card. Locker? Last one, I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. Huh. Mousy. The smell of old dishes and moldy food was dizzying. Squeakers. Huh. Is that supposed to be the faucet? Like, okay, whatever. You know what? I feel like you might be able to click on these things more than once and get different response. Okay, that was the actual second response. All right. When I was trying to click on the rat behind the table, that's what it did. So I probably need to click on stuff until it repeats. Honestly, though, is that how you spell mold? I would have always put M-O-L-D-Y for moldy. And I wonder how many times in my life I've written that word. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved here, or moved before. Maybe I had found a way out. I must have moved it, right? Wait. What do you mean, I must have moved it? I left it alone, but I couldn't think of another option. It was like, no, it was asking me, like, did I actually move this previously? I want to move it now, but I was answering the question. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. All right, let's do this. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? Now see, that's... Why are they asking these questions like this? Why don't they ask, like, should I climb down the ladder? Will I climb down the ladder? Did I? Is like we're fucking experiencing this, like, as a ghost. Third person, third time. My leg hurt like hell as I climbed down that ladder. The tunnel below was even darker, and the smell wasn't getting any better. But I had to get out of there and find my way home. Duty! What is this? Footprints in the dirt. Looked like more than one kind. And a lot of traffic. Lots of people coming into the secret tunnel in the basement. What is this? Places all over were marked on the old map of town. The industrial area near the river. Various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Yeah, see, I need to remember. Like, you would think that it was done with information, right? That would be the normal inclination. Because otherwise, why wouldn't it just continue to give you detail until it's done and then take you back out to the main screen? I don't like how they do that because there's probably quite a bit of people that have just missed like 50% or more of the available dialogue. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Some of the markings matched the scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. Okay. Is there a way to speed that up if you've already read it? I wonder. All right, so it's gray once it's exhausted, and it's light white when it's not. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait. There were photos. Photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more. Tried and find some kind of information. Alright, so it's gray. So it shouldn't tell me something new. Let's try. It does! What the fuck? The gray doesn't even mean anything. The gray is misleading. Oh, that is bad. Okay. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first. And I needed to see what else was down there. This kind of stuff, like, really shocks me. How can people that make games not pick up on these, like, obvious things that they should or shouldn't do in the game? I don't understand that. All right, we got a sawhorse, a work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it. Did I? No. I didn't even want to touch the thing. Better I left it right where it was. All right, so the sawhorse is still white now. So it's not even consistent. And it's actually okay, so because I have an action option still available here, I guess it's staying white. Really, really strange. Can't tell. Oh, that's another ladder going down. All right, let's go over here. Oh, great. Like just an instant dead end. I hope I don't run into that fucking cat again. That thing was so loud. It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? All right, since we were pretty far to the right already, let's go and see. What the hell? Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wooden rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The smell in that room was like old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful. So I can't find a way to make the writing like jump forward if we've already read it. You know, it's not a whole lot of text, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. What warnings do they have? The slight fumes that still emanated from the cans made me dizzy. I'm gonna expect that it's 2 blocks of text and nothing more. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom. Something wet. Blood! That place was getting worse all the time. I knew I had to keep moving. I'm really surprised it went to the right. Like, that far. So if we're thinking about, like, the logistics of this place, it's like... just keeps kind of like going, shifting further and further to the right. The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out and illegible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. If we're supposed to believe that the dashes are the actual length of the words, I think these are names. So like this would be Heather. And like we see a capital R, capital H, most likely names. I don't see an opportunity for Rachel here. So that's good. None of it made any sense to me. Nothing about Rachel or me was written there. Maybe I needed to keep looking. Do we know our name? Ah, these can't be human bones, no way. There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. Who put them here? I wondered, what would I have found if I had dug deeper? Well, let's do it. That's it? Can we interact with these? These look like pictures. Why wouldn't we look at those? There's a literal fucking prisoner chains on the wall. There's just no way. How does he not comment on that? These are just like meat hooks, too. That was kind of loud. I know you can't really see, but I'm drinking a peach Perrier. And the reason I know it's peach flavored is because it tells me on the can. I would have no fucking clue otherwise. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing here? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were there photos of our house here? And these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house or did somebody bring me? What the fuck is that noise? Oh! Doesn't sound, is that what bat sounds like? They didn't scare me because it was like, I think if they weren't making the noises, then maybe. But yeah. Oh, come on, Queso. I know you love that peach vodka. Banana flavor stuff sounds gross, but I do like banana bread a lot and banana pudding. I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. I don't remember if I jumped down there or found another way. It looked to be a long way. Did I jump down? Maybe there was some other way to get down there without risking more injury to my leg. It's so, like, why does it talk about, like, memories? We're in this moment right now, aren't we? And if we're not, then we know, like, nothing bad happens to this guy because he's just talking about his previous experience in this scenario. It's kind of... I'm not sure if I like the way they use the language here. What is that? The fuck? If I... Oh, is this a whip? There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Not yet. I didn't think it would hold me, so I left it. I mean, that's my original thought. Like, it's his clothes there that he threw away. Like, he's fine, but he's got an injury. So how did he get the injury? Probably causing harm to somebody else. He hasn't come across anyone else here. So if he was like a captive or someone's prisoner, he would not be just like free roaming all over the place. I mean, definitely sounds to me like he's the bad guy. Did he bury this motherfucker in the wall? And we're like, they just know that they're in the wall. What in the shit? What up, living? Yeah, I think you're right. I think the memory will play a role. So far, the rope seems to be the only way down there, other than just taking the ladder and probably hurting ourselves. I don't think there's another... Yeah, so that's it. Taking a rope. I'm trying to not take stuff that I don't think I, like, have an immediate reason to take. What the fuck? I'm gonna leave this room and come back in and see if I can make out what this thing is saying. Maybe we're not supposed to know what it says. It just it almost sounds like Elvish or some shit. Like Lord of the Rings speak. I really don't know. But the fact that we hear the voices of a fucking skeleton buried in the wall, somehow we see the skeleton. I had the rope now. There must have been a use for it around somewhere. I think we know that use. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb? Yes. Yes, you did. I could hear a faint hum, and the smell from before started to get worse. Alright, glad I went left this time. I'm not sure if, like, putting our flashlight above our head has actually done anything for us yet. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. Wheat pasted? Huh. Never heard that. Guess it's like maybe paper mache type scenario. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out. Danger due to cave-in. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there. So then... I mean, like, it's funny because the front door is blocked from furniture, but there's first floor level windows all over the place. So, if the guy just really wanted to get out of the fucking house, he could so easily get out of the house. What? If you heard that fucking sound, I would be going all the way back up. There's no chance in hell I would be going any further. Whatever that sound was. My hands tingled from the burn of sliding down that rope. It was lucky I found that. Who knows what would have happened if I had jumped down. Still, it was all I could do to not have rushed out of that awful place. That wreck, those terrible tools. What the hell was going on back there? The metal door groaned as I leaned into it, causing my heart to skip a beat at the sound. That was the door? No way, it was like so long of a sound. As I peered ahead into the dark of the next room, I worried that I should have taken that gun I saw. But me? With a gun? Ooh. I think this is the first time holding up our flashlight actually does something. An exposed ventilation shaft, maybe somewhere, maybe someone crawled through there. But it was so high up, that must have been a sore landing. Is that how I hurt my leg? My leg ached just thinking about it. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Odd. There was similar dirt on my own shoes. Let's check in here first. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? Probably water. We definitely don't want to exit before we go up that ladder. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Nope. I was relieved to leave the filthy knife right where I found it. You dirty knife. Oh, Jesus. Why? Alright, let's try this. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Let me in. Must have the must. I don't like the noises. Alright. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust, I could see handprints from previous use. Probably from whoever worked in those sewers. I'm not sure if it makes sense for us to interact with this. We don't have a cause to turn that wheel just yet. I mean, like, why would we interact with any of this stuff? Not yet, at least. Just randomly start turning wheels on, like, pipes and conduits and gaskets and shit. That sounds like a terrible idea. Oh yeah, it's the knife. Whoops. Whoopsie. Let's take the ladder. What? Is that blood with a bunch of trash bags? Disgusting. It was a mess of filthy garbage bags. There were rips and tears in most of the bags. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? I mean, I would probably take this tape. If I was still fucking around in this house. Because, like, the picture, you can see it immediately and be like, oh, it's just a normal picture, right? But the tape is a mystery for sure. And it's in a trash bag with a bunch of what, for some reason, they don't explain. It sounds like bodies. Something. Let's take it. I wasn't sure what I hoped to discover with the tape, but I took it anyway. I did not want to keep digging through this mess. Well, we got a tape. We're gonna sell it on eBay. It doesn't seem like there's any incentive to spin those wheels. Oh, I thought we were like going outside. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Oh, okay, well now we have a way. What? Okay, it wasn't letting me click on that for a while. I mean... The reason to spin that was instant. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. I guess so any room that we go in, if we hear that, like, we just shut it. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Squeaky. Did we actually turn that shit off? Or do we have to turn it more? Oh, I see. There's actual, like, little indicator on the... Okay. I see, I see. I see, I see, I see. It'd be way cooler if it was like, how many times do I want to turn this thing? Bow, no, no, no. I remember in room 1, it just immediately worked. Let me in. I wonder if we can use the knife on the door. What the hell? Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. Why is it giving me problems with clicking on this all of a sudden? What's going on? What? There was a small metal key floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yeah. It's like I can't click on stuff. It's like it's not in the right space anymore. What has happened to this game? I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd shaped I had no idea what it might open. So I just have to like click much lower than where the actual icon is. Is that gonna fuck me up with the interactables in this mode? The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The faded paper was yellow and dusty, but there it had obviously been wiped off recently. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. All right, well that click worked normally. Let's go upstairs. See if we can use the key on that one door, the musty door. Give me your must. Mouldy must. Open up. All right, well I guess it's gonna tell me when I can use the key. Well, we wouldn't know which door the key belonged to, so you would think it would just ask me like, do you try to unlock it? And I say, oh yes I do. And then it would be like, this key don't work. Chomp. But we don't even try to use the key that we just picked up, so why did we pick it up if we're just not going to attempt to use it? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Come on, use the key. Alright. Video camera. Maybe that's what the videotape was from. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what had happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful. I couldn't help but wonder if someone was watching me from the other side. They're watching us. I found another dead body, a sewer worker. He was a mess, but he looked like he'd been stabbed. I could see a key ring that had fallen out of his pocket. Did I take it? I mean, we've hit a couple of locked doors. At this point, we know we need keys. I worked up the nerve to snatch the key ring away and put it in my own pocket. That's mine. I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. Hello? Alright. Alright, let's go back to the locked doors again. Let's try. I used the key ring to unlock the door. That's one. This is a security room, maybe? The shelf full of security tapes was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. Hell yeah. I wondered what was on the tape and why it was thrown out. Well, let's watch. It's gonna be me murdering people? There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on that VHS tape I found. Did I play the tape? For sure. Alright, I'm glad that audio ended. Oh no! The video showed a man right there in the sewers being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched like somebody had tampered with it. It's not that useful, I guess. It looked like there could have been two men. I couldn't stand to watch that video again. That's my movie. Take it out. Well, I guess we're just gonna leave the evidence in the VCR and walk away. Nothing to see here, folks. Let's see if we can open up that musty door now. It looks like that problem that we had with the clicking probably corrected itself. I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring I'd found in that sewer worker, and one of them seemed to fit. Hell yeah! We got some... Is this the elephant's foot in here? A collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. Oh, radioactive quesos in here. Shit. We're dead. There's no escaping the radioactive queso. That room didn't seem like much of a place for drinking. What was the point? The point is that Queso's a lazy bastard and he's irradiated and doesn't want to go anywhere. It's just this killer on the wall. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines, in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought if some of these same articles had also been pasted back up in those tunnels. Did that sewer worker find this room? Is that why he was killed? I know you're in there, Questo. I'm going to the cops. Then Questo went on a murderous rage. A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be, but did I keep the receipt? No. I mean, nah. I didn't think a filthy receipt was going to help me get out of here. That's true. It's not. If it somehow helps you get out of there, I'm going to be pretty confused. I will let you out of this tunnel if you can present to me a dusty, moldy-ass receipt. If not... Oh, shit! Jesus Christ. That was a dick move. Thanks a lot, game. Appreciate ya. Alright, now we're to the place we haven't been yet. This must have been the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past that flooded room with this. Clever, but why go through all the trouble? 'Cause somebody else was down there ready to myrtleize them. The ascent was slow. My leg ached, but I felt a desperate need to escape. The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was it that didn't want to be seen? Was it the same person that hid all of those newspaper clippings away in that locked room? As I reached the top of the ladder, part of me hoped I would never know. It's kind of crazy that he's referencing the tape as being the thing that gave him chills, but he actually has found multiple dead bodies. Like obvious murder victims. How's the tape the problem here? I pushed aside my thoughts as I struggled with the latch above me, and as I swung up the cover to make my escape, I caught the scent of fresh pine trees. Vehicle air freshener. So is this the ladder we just left and we are just away from it for some reason? The fuck is that sound? You have like a dirty ass sewer water running next to me? Somebody grease up that gate door. Okay. An old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? I mean, there was nothing else out here from what I could tell. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Let's go! What's up with these bats? Do water towers make noise like this? I've never been this close to a water tower. It's just like a big plastic water jug in an office. That was a fantastic sound effect by me. Alright, let's see. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Is it yours? That's what I want to know before I take it. I mean, in a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Yeah, well, if we think it's ours, we're taking it. We're not going to leave our fucking wallet. The wallet was missing ID or cards, but it had a bit of cash left in it. That's definitely not my wallet then. I slid it into my back pocket and wondered where my credit card and driver's license were. Yeah, the first time I did it, it was pretty decent. At least you knew what it was, right? Did I put this up here? Or was somebody else carrying it? What is this? How come it doesn't comment on like what looks to be scratch marks? It's a werewolf. From the railing I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through here before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. It was getting cool up there, and I shivered with an uneasy sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? I mean, where else do we go? I didn't see anywhere else to go. It's gonna be a new door somewhere. It's gonna go bow now now now. Oh, I thought this was a fucking wall. Never mind. I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and I heaved open the rusty door. I didn't want to go in there, though. I didn't even know that was a door. I thought it was just like some kind of metal box. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. Alright, we didn't open it. We just unlocked it. But there's nowhere else to go anyways. Okay. Wait, what? Oh, we did go some... Okay. What? Why is that kind of door at a chain link fence and not going into a building? This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled. Okay, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. I almost wished I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest. I wonder, because when we first looked at those scribblings, we didn't click into it twice, right? Because we didn't know. We thought once the game took us out of our first inspection, that there wasn't more information to gather. I'm also wondering if I should turn back and go through that door. See, I don't want to like get caught up in going like back and forth through these fucking woods. I'm hoping that whatever was behind that locked door is just a quick like one-off thing, and then I come back here. Alright, let's start this way. Because I think this will be... Ooh, that is not what I expected to see. So I wonder, I don't think this is going to be like the progression point, because we had to fish that key out of the sewer, and you could have like easily just not picked that up. You could have said no. So this can't be like the next place, I don't think. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. What? This word is melting my brain. This is actually buffeting. I mean, I know it's not buffeting. But what? I've never heard that. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. I mean, just based off of the description, I understand what the meaning of the word is. Which would also explain why I've never heard it used. That's kind of wild. Why is the audio having problems with this little wind thing? I guess it like loops, but it's not a flawless loop. The ancient ticket booth was falling apart, covered in dust and grime. Stacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of old schedules and reports. Among the papers were newer-looking sheets, covered in scribbles and illegible notes. Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf. He had notes on the water tower outside, too. I guessed he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? I couldn't be sure why the man had come to the station before, but it seemed obvious that he had. I'm that man. At least I think I am. Are we like a murderer that got conked in the head and don't know it? Or are we just like a multiple personality type dude? An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train route connecting to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. Oh, we're outside again? What the fuck is this? It's the van down by the river? And the torn opening of that ruined train where heaps of dirt and stale water. At the bottom, I thought I saw a scrap of cloth. As I looked closer, I could see that it was definitely some kind of nylon, maybe a windbreaker or some other outdoor clothing. There was too much of a mess on the ground to see any kind of footprints, but someone or something had definitely trod a regular path. The wind was biting through my thin clothes, and I wasn't sure what else to make of the place. All right, we got to go back through. It's going to be some kind of new spook. Some sound. Nope. Haha, suckers. Alright, good. Answered that area. Now we're gonna crawl through bushes and shit. I guess we'll start with the closest one. What is this? A little chin Pokemon? Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. It's my credit cards. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I knew it. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? Yes. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated building. I wondered, what is an outbuilding? I guess a restroom? Outhouse? I wondered if I could find my way around. That's so weird. Why wouldn't I be able to walk through this part like I have been all the others? The perspective of it is just the same, but it's taking up a different dimension. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out in these woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? Because they've been murdered. 2 folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry. But why? Murder! That's why. The cheap domed tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. I felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. Nope, they're dead. So the interesting thing is, we came out of the middle one. Yeah, this is kind of whack. No, 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 no. Well, how does that make any sense? How do we get to this building from going to the one on the right? What the fuck? That math doesn't add up. What the heck? What? I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. What the heck? The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. The pathways don't make any sense. I didn't know why. I didn't know who was camping back there, but I couldn't bear to stick around to look for them. I just wanted to get out of there. It's like they're just making these, like, random wormholes almost. There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Oh, for sure. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Oh, here's the they added Rachel. All of these names were the first ones that we saw on that list, but now Rachel's a new one. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Okay, so are all of these people his ex-girlfriends that he's killed, or like women? If they were all girlfriends of his, then that would be, if he was still not caught, that would be fucked. That would be some epic level of bad police work. So I'm going to say he's just killing a bunch of women. And Rachel is probably the only one that he killed that he's actually with. And maybe it's because she found out. Rachel, her name was the last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out with the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks look older and more faded. You murderous bastard. You son of a bitch. Alright, let's go to the outbuilding, or whatever they call it. Whoopsie. We hadn't done this one yet, actually. I'm glad we came back. The worn picnic table stood within a circle of trees like an altar. It was covered in faint markings and carvings from who I assumed were previous campers and hikers. It's like the picnic table from Alan Wake. I read some of the names and notes on the table's surface. Rytron, Kumar, Uncle Phil, and Uncle Phil? Wait a minute. Henry, Daniel, Davy D, Jenny. Seemed like the table had seen a lot of use over the years. It's kiddos. I read some of the names. Okay, it's just let's click through that. I just wanted to go back and see Uncle Phil one last time. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil. The path ended in a cold-looking river. I wasn't sure if this was safe to cross like this. Did I cross? No, I did not. Oh, that would make sense. Yeah, that's a good guess. Uncle Phil. Fresh Prince, baby. Did we see DJ Jazzy Jeff on that list? This is how we get to the outbuilding. Because it makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. That's why I remembered it was that one. Wash your stink. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. Someone had used the sink. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. There was a damp-smelling plank leaning against the stall door. I might have been able to cross the river with it. Did I take it? I managed to carry the plank under my arm so it didn't get in the way. So what happens if he comes across this before he discovers the river? He just says like, oh, there's a stank-ass plank here. And then, like, maybe they ask you if you want to take it for some stupid reason. Do you want to carry around a plank for some unknown reason? Yes. Then you realize you need it and you have to come back here and you're like, motherfucker. I don't remember where this one takes me. I know we've explored those. Yeah. All right, let's go back to where we know we want to go. Yeet. Wait. Yeah, let's go. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been in the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led. So we have two options, it seems. We could do this or go across the river. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean and where the campers who had abandoned their sites. Would I meet them too? Though the path ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead? I'm wondering if the campers are on the other side of that river. Let's go back. We're going to get way too far away from the river. But I'm also concerned that we won't be able to cross back. I had to press on. The thought of that claustrophobic forest was too much. I can't go back. No! That's not cool. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. This guy was a fucking machinist. He's guilty. You know it. Sheesh. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. Alright, let's go through that hole in the fence before we start. There's a lot of stuff going on in this building, it looks like. Good dead end, I like it. Oh, Sheba! I found the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered, was this his flashlight? Wait, was this... What? We think that we have the security guy, the dead security guy's flashlight? I saw the blunt wound on the guard's head and looked again at the flashlight I was carrying. Oh no. Please. You fuck. You murdered this guy with his own flashlight. That would be pretty rough, getting killed by a flashlight. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet, and now this. Did I retrieve my watch? Absolutely. The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. Can't be leaving murder evidence around. I wonder if that's what we're doing. Like, the journey through this game, if we do everything right, is basically like collecting all the evidence to protect ourselves from the murder charges. And then we keep on killing. Suck it, losers! The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." Alright. No second message. We can interact with this thing. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to the other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. I'm gonna power it up. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. That's true. So all the power that's coming into this box is either below or above. So we need to. Looks like we can only go above at this point. And our high heels, of course. Or I guess they're penny loafers, maybe. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Am I like, does every little kid, well, let's just say there's like every little white kid who had parents that lived in like the, let's just say their parents are like the baby boomer generation. Did every little white kid, let's say middle class-ish, have fucking penny loafers as their like dress shoes? I vividly remember having penny loafers. And I don't understand. What was the purpose of a fucking penny loafer? Why did people actually put pennies in the fucking tongue of the shoe? Do you know what I'm talking about though, Queso? Man, it was such a weird thing. And like they all had the parted hair, like the, I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not Dennis the Menace, but there's another comic book character, maybe Rin Tin Tin. I felt like every like middle class kid that I ever saw had those fucking things. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Let's check it out. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. Ooh, power. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of the woman taped inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. Well, she's dead. That woman's photo, I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened. You killed her, buddy. Don't you know? It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. A power panel. Looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Yay. I'm assuming green is on. Yeah. Yep. Bow. Ooh, there's another upstairs. Our old break table, the layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Looked like some beer had been used on the table recently. Speaking of piss-stained Italian dog. What's up, Alessio? How you doing, buddy? Got him. Great to pass. I wondered, was that guard using this as a break room? Alessio always shows up for the scary games. That's why the lights are off, if you're wondering. Looked like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. All right. Let's see if we can power on some more stuff. The door had been hastily boarded up. All right, so now this is what I'm talking about. Somebody actually boarded a door, which makes a whole lot more sense. That taped door from earlier is still bothering me. Oh, man. Queso might ban you for saying blasphemy like that. Waking up early, going to the gym. Queso just fucking projectile vomited. This was Norman's locker. This door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. All right. I freaked out with Rachel and Norman, and I killed them both. But I also have killed a bunch of people before them. So we can't really blame it on that, I guess. Another panel that I'd hoped helped me get the power back on. Bow. What? Oh, my flashlight was blocking it. I thought it was still yellow. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Why? I would not take the hammer. There's no need for it yet. I mean, at this point, though, yeah. This whole place reeked of disuse and disrepair. What was I going to do with a hammer? Exactly. I think I should receive it, but it doesn't show. So I see the sub count on my end went up, but it hasn't updated. I think you have to like announce that you've done your Prime sub. There's probably like an option to share it or something, and then maybe it'll show up. But I do see my subscriber count has bumped up. That other number will increase probably soon. Yeah. It must have gone through though. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that, man. Here, let me I'll play your alert so you can feel special. All right, everybody, it's time for Alessio to feel special.
For just $5 a month, you can sponsor a child.
That's stupid. Who the hell would want to do that?
Sponsor now, and we'll also send you this Takeo digital sports watch as a free gift.
Kick ass. Well, thanks, Alessio. I hope you feel special, buddy. You are a special little guy. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom was a magnetic card. Yes, we want that. I slipped a key card into my pocket. Skill clicks, baby. From the musty smell, I assumed no one had used this locker for a long time. Another panel that I hoped could help get the power back on. This one doesn't work at all. Maybe they both have to be doing some magics. Bow. Alright, yep, that was a secret. We can hear the juices flowing. Yeah, man. Get you some breakfast, buddy. Breakfast sounds really good. Did I look at this thing? The utility shelf to cram with mismatched tools. Oh, yeah. That's kind of a disconcerting sound. That loud-ass machinery would be a little unnerving. With the power box working again, the door was unlocked. Did I go through? What about this other thing? The door opened now that the power was back on. Whoa, what is this shit? Planks, tools, and broken up parts blocked by further passage. Blocked any further passage. The factory was like a tomb now. It never got repaired, and we never came back. A rusted old regulator of some kind sat dusty and unused against the wall. Within the dust, there were deep scratches, like from some kind of tool or blade. Another smudge of dirt, similar to the one I found in those sewers. It didn't look like the footprints were mine, but they were probably too faint to tell. I don't like that sound. A large pile of building materials and debris blocked the way. The factory floor never did get those repairs it needed. We closed too soon for that to happen. Okay. We're going in. I pushed a handle and stepped through the door. A rack of flashlights hung on the wall. One of them was missing. Wait a minute. They were exactly the same as the flashlight I was carrying. I turned my own over and looked at the bottom. Judging by the label, it definitely could have come from that rack. Oh, I can't get over there. There's something there, though. What is it? I stopped noticing the dull ache in my leg when a terrible sensation wormed its way down my spine. Even in the cool night air, everything felt too close. I never felt alone or unmolested. Aw, dang. I hate when I feel unmolested. I tried to tell myself it was just the sight of that dead guard that was throwing me off. The poor bastard looked like he had been done in while on patrol. Was the flashlight I carried his? I thought we already talked about that. How did I come to possess it then? As I looked around the wet yard, the light seemed less a blessing and more of a mysterious omen. I had to keep moving though. I had to find Rachel. We're gonna find Rachel, all right. She did. It's the human centipede. No, like literally, what is this fucking thing? Is that a vehicle? It's a vehicle of some kind. A pickup had smashed into the guardrail and stood silent. Was this the truck that those newspaper clippings mentioned? Was there really a body found here too? I looked closer at the tailgate and could see a series of dried streaks down its back. Inside the truck was dried blood and broken glass. I was surprised that this hadn't been towed away yet. Yeah, they put a newspaper article about it and then just leave the accident there? That's kind of weird. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin, greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. Maybe that's my, driver's license? Yep, it was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes. I cleaned a card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card and now this. I tucked the card back into my wallet next to my credit card. Did somebody steal this from me? I wondered why they would have stashed it here. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I'd entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet, except for the faint sound of a television. Norman's dead. Dead body. It's like from the scene in Seven. He's the glutton. There's just a bunch of fly paper on the wall. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just open it up. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Interesting. That doesn't sound good. What the hell? One of Rachel's old autumn coats hung on a rack? That was Norman's bedroom, wasn't it? What was this doing there? Surprise! A speck of something dark and wet stained one of the sleeves. It's all coming together. Ooh, a shotgun shelf. There was a well-maintained gun cabinet here in Norman's room. I didn't know much about guns, but it looked like he kept a few hunting rifles. I knew Norman hunted occasionally, but I didn't know him to be such a collector. Uh-oh. How come he doesn't comment about the blood? Oh yeah. Hello, Norman. Let's care about the TV first. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. That dude got messed up. Oh no. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker and one of the few friends I'd had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. What happened? His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been killed trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman was, what was Rachel doing here? Why did you have her coat? You can't ask him that now. You already killed him, buddy. Norman, maybe you deserved better. You probably did. Did I close his eyes? No. I don't think touching the dead dude is a good move. Sorry, Norman, but at that moment I was too confused to worry about you. I needed to find Rachel to find some answers. Honey, I'm at Norman's home, and he's dead. So are you. I'm just looking for your body because I can't remember where I put it. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough. But there were water rings from 2 cups still in the wood. Uh-huh. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least, I didn't remember ever doing so. Oh, trash can. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Oh yeah, there's definitely some juicy evidence in there. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash and pocketed it. Oh, you're gonna pick a lock with that. Nice. Just don't worry about that dead body. Wish we could unplug the television. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. Snacks. I never went there that much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. Or if she needed something. Like a little Slim Jim, a Slim Norman. Let's see. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. I don't think that's what happened, buddy. I don't think that's what happened. Alright, let's see. Postcards. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. We're going to be finding Rachel very soon, I feel. What else would I be forced to endure before the end? Seeing Norman up there, dead, it turned my stomach just to think of it, but I couldn't put it out of my mind. How was he involved in all of this? This was getting worse and worse. I was starting to feel incredibly vulnerable. As I stepped out into the rain, I realized how close I was to home. It's kind of crazy that he never, like, picked up a phone in any of these places. Like, he's in a place that guaranteed has to have a phone. Why isn't he calling the cops? I hoped I wouldn't find. I hoped I would soon find my answers. Soon you will. I believe it. Oh, there's a couple different residences here. Looks like lots of them. Well, I'm gonna hope that we're the last house. So let's start with all the others. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. Alright, we're gonna check the other one too, if we can. No! Why do they do that to us? What the fuck? More gates behind gates? The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? Hell yeah! There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter inside. It read, "Stay away. She's mine." That was it. No signature, no other information. I'm glad I got this evidence out of the fucking mailbox. Who wrote this? Damn it, Norman. What did you get yourself into? You would think with all this shit that he's uncovering that he would, like, these memories would come back to him. Kind of surprising. I don't like how there's so many doors. I guess this is ours. There's so many doors, but we can't go back to see about the other door. Now it doesn't. Now it's like I don't want to open these. All right. The gate was locked tight. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Afraid of what? You? You're the murderer. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. All right. Don't worry. These horror pixels will be waiting for you next time. Have a good workout, dude. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or some time before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of a mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Gee, I wonder why. Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card there. Did I open it? Sure. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? What the heck? Alright, he's been out of it for quite a while. The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. True. The door to the basement was locked. Where had I put the damn key? The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Okay. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet, the old photo of Rachel, and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? Nope. Now that would have been weird to just be carrying around that picture. Our television, I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. That's because I spent the money she was planning to steal from me while she was fucking Norman. That whore. Uh-oh. Our hallway mirror had been smashed into pieces and scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. Let's go this way first. Uh-oh. This room feels bad. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey now. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. There was a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from that trip we took out west. Did I open the suitcase? I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase's content. Inside were a few days' worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket. Where was she planning to go? This wasn't getting me anywhere. I don't know, man. If you see a train ticket, that's probably going to tell you a whole lot of shit. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. The old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. People around here have fucking huge homes. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed tubs. Those are nice. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. Home. There's blood in front of this dough. This is the dead body room. No, there's not. It's just a pewter. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Oh, we're going back. I pocketed the key. The laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. We've looked at everything else, from what I could tell. Yeah, we can't get in there just yet. This is the basement. Oh, now, when did we grab the basement key? Or was that the key in the desk that we just grabbed that I thought was for the water tower for some reason? I unlocked the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key there. Did I take the key? Yeah, why not? I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. The room upstairs. Dingus. Looked like there was plaster and an old trowel in here too. There were old clothes and tools and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck, and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. He buried her in the fucking wall like that other skeleton. I'd put up this... Okay, so we need to find something to crush it with. But, we haven't seen anything yet in this house to do that, I don't think. Whoops. The grimy key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? Who broke in and spilled all this blood? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I take it? Yes, I did. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. It's time. It's time. You know that body's in the wall. You know it. I know it. We're about to know it together. Clink, clink, clink. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? You're gonna see all your murder evidence. Don't look. Is that what it says? Oh, we're looking. Don't look. This room is fucking huge. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I'd come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? It was worse than I could have possibly imagined. Within the folds of the rotten, smelling, heavy fabric was the pale, dead figure of my darling wife. What struck me most was that she wasn't bloody or torn apart. Rather, she was covered in sickly green bruises, and her windpipe had been crushed. It's pretty brutal. The real horror there was that whoever had killed her, who did this, dang it, had done so intimately with bare hands. So this is what had been gnawing in the back of my mind this whole time. This is what I was afraid of. I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly, exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Does he fall asleep and forget everything that he's already been through? And then goes through it again? Grim discovery. Realize your worst fears. That was my achievement. What was this? It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, the forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? Yep. I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? What do you mean, what does it mean? Wait. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Maybe I'd use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. No matter what, I needed some kind of escape. There, that was decided. Okay. I guess we go back to the water tower? I think? It was the key card I found at the bottom of the factory locker. I never did bother to use it. I thought we did use that. Someone had been going through those lockers and poking around the plant. Still, it didn't quite add up. Was I the one who had been going to the factory? I guess it could have been me, but what would I have been doing there? Myrtleizing? The laptop had finally run out of power. How long it had been left running? If it wasn't plugged in, that fucking laptop would have bit the dust like a long time ago. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down: Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk, deep within those musty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? My old office safe sat on the floor. It used a digital passcode lock. Did I try to open it? The safe used an 8-digit code. What was that damn code again? Wow. No way I know this. That's even more than 8 digits. How was that not it? Interesting. I don't think we've discovered any kind of numbers yet. Still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? I couldn't leave, not until I had thought about this some more. I needed answers. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyways. Oh, okay, so we're not going to the water tower again. There would have been more dinners. There would be no more dinners here. No more chit-chat over breakfast. At least not for us. I couldn't recall when I had last ate, but I wasn't hungry in the least. We actually going back into the basement? I couldn't go back down, not until I had gone over everything I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. Alright, so I guess I missed something else in the house. I probably need to go further up. Within the few broken pieces that remained of that mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. Perhaps I would never know how that mirror came to be broken. Was it by Rachel's assailant or by Rachel herself? I thought I had lingered and would haunt me forever. It's so weird that he doesn't know that he's the one yet. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. Quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. I still loved the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like a cold comfort then. Rachel loved this part of the house. So pretty much everything we interact with is giving us different cues now, but getting anything that's giving us, like, the next... Yeah. Wonder what we missed. No matter what, I needed some kind of escape. So do we have numbers to the safe that I just somehow don't know? There's nowhere else to go up here. From now on, I'd have no one to get angry at me for the stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. Alright, this is probably the last item. It was a letter I had taken from the postbox. Who had it out for Norman? Who sent him that letter? Must have been someone from the neighborhood, or at least somebody wanted it to look that way. I wasn't sure what to think. Did he murder Rachel? Nope. No way. Norman had ended up dead himself. Whoever sent that threatening letter must have got to him. But who the hell was that? Damn this town. We only wanted a nice place to settle down, not this madness. Was he the one responsible for Rachel's murder? But I had found him dead. How the fuck are we supposed to know this code? I don't think we've come across any numbers. Seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe. I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Okay, good. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. Baby, honey, it's me. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I had already seen too much. You gotta go in there, man. I needed to put an end to the situation, one way or another. I don't understand. Why did we come down here if we couldn't do anything? What the fuck? See if it'll let me walk out the front door this time. There was nothing for me here anymore. No reason to stay in that house. Did I leave, never to return? Fuck yeah, let's get out of here. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew I was a final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. Even though the man I found in that old place was a mystery, why was he dead? Or who had done it to him was not something I could even begin to understand. Or why, for that matter, I was in that damn room in the first place. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I'd watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? I'd found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell I had been there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest, and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things. Hopefully, I thought, that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all of this. Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list, so what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on that desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? My sleepwalking had obviously been a problem lately, but it was still difficult to admit that I was the one who had been going back to the factory. The episodes had gotten worse, but oh no, I hoped I wasn't the one responsible for that guard. After the factory, I thought I might just find some solace if I could get to Norman's store, but all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Damn, Norman, how did you get mixed up in all of this? I know you weren't a perfect man, none of us are, but you didn't deserve this. Maybe whoever had done you in was responsible for that other murders that happened in that town. At the very least, I was convinced you and Rachel were killed by the same person. I sincerely hoped you would have found some peace, my friend. I knew I never would. This is crazy. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess in a way it did, but how I could have known how hopeless it all was. I had started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked to think of it now. Our house used to feel so lively, so warm, but coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought that I had had up to that point was suddenly a possibility, but nothing could have prepared me. My wife, dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery to me, one that would haunt me forever unless I did something about it. For what solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might never know why. As I swung open the door and stepped out into the air, I caught the scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the urge that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. I wonder if, like, it's seriously supposed to continually make that fucking sound over and over and over and over again. So I got an achievement that said end my story by leaving. So I guess if we go the other direction, something else can happen. Dude, that like droning sound at the end is so fucking... Especially when you're reading all that shit, they really needed to shut it off at that point. I hope that was a glitch, but I don't think it was. Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. So the good thing about this game is it's got like, it's not that the outcome changes. It's what you know of the situation is either revealed to you by the things that you've encountered and decided to do or didn't do, right? So choices matter in that sense because that's how you see it at the end of the game. I'm not sure what else we could have encountered that would make our character like understand that he was the killer. It could have been the thing with the key card in the factory or whatever. It could have been crossing the river. I think those are the only 2 items that I really didn't explore. I wanted to, but we got like locked out of going backwards without knowing any better about it. That I really, really, really don't like. You should always be able to backtrack. That frustrates me. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. Like, it's different. It's okay. But it was cool to play with you guys. Hopefully that last, like 15 minutes of that sound just going off over and over and over again wasn't as terrible for you as it was for me. That was a pretty rough part. But yeah, I will be streaming again tomorrow night. I'm planning to do a drinking stream. I don't know why I said I would do this. I've got tequila. I've got to go get beer. And yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'll announce it on Discord. I will see you dudes later. Peace. See you, Questo. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. It was a good time.